This started out to be like a flyer for a specific group, but I want to make this program tonight a general program that'll fit a program or a lecture for all occasions. First of all, our community, As-Sabiqun, the vanguard of Islam, the first of those who forsook their homes, and of those who gave them aid, and also those who follow them in all that is good. Well pleased is Allah with them, as they are well pleased with Him. He had prepared gardens under which rivers flow to dwell therein forever. That is the supreme felicity. Al-Fawdul Azim is the ultimate, let's call it happiness or whatever, because Al-Fawdul Azim, along with other states in the Quran, it will make an assertion that that is the highest achievement, or that is the final achievement. So, and just to stray off the subject a little, you know, paradise has so many levels, you know. There's Firdaus, that's way up there. Now, if y'all like me, I just want to get in. That's from the description. I know it's not like what the Quran is telling us, because the Quran is Allah speaking to the human being knowing their capacity. So Allah have to speak in figurative pictures and allegories, because the Quran says, no eye have seen it, no ear have heard it, nor have it even entered the possibility of the mind to conceive of paradise, you know. But if that was, which is a good enough allegory, if I can get there, look, I'm not being funny, but I'll tell you, you know, when it talk about in the grave, you know, that you will have an idea of which way you're headed, and it talks about the ones that are headed in the other direction, they're going to be able to smell the smoke from the fire, and they're going to be able to hear the people hollering. They might as well be in there, because they're just going to be super paranoid, right? Because they already got it. They got an idea which way they're headed. Then the other group is like they're on a veranda. They're on, a veranda, and they could kind of see in paradise. They could smell the fragrance of paradise. And that's in the grave now. That's when you die, you're going to be looking at that. Now, to me, that's fine. If I can get there, I mean, I could hear the beautiful sounds, witness or behold all the beautiful happenings, you know, fine. But that's just the pre-paradise and the pre-hellfire. So when it talks about the vanguard of Islam, As-Sabiqun al-Awwalun, it's talking about a people who went out right away. They didn't get any permission. They didn't ask anybody. They went out and they did what needed to be done, you know. And then it don't say that this happened one time. That As-Sabiqun, it's all kind of openings that it's very possible that every time they finish one event, they could go on to another. This is the way we feel about our event now. At this stage, it feels very, very good. Because in this time, we're going directly after the Zionists. You said that's what I said, no. Think back. We made flyers, Islamic Institute of Counter-Zionist American Psychological Warfare. That's so the Zionists would make Boss Man do everything he could to finish us off. That's for the Zionists to do what they are. They're like, you can see the Zionists now are comfortable with who they are, and they're comfortable with world power. Everything centers around them, right? The whole world is acting on their behalf. And at this point, they're not getting any they're not being checked. That's our job, this go round. You said the brother is really arrogant, or the brother's not arrogant. No. Let's think about it. Just think about it systematically. Has everything that we said about Boss Man, we're going to slap Boss Man upside the head, we're going to whoop Boss Man, boy, we're going to have him running around in circles, and this is what we said. And we said that the Boss Man is going to act so funny that he's going to unify the Muslims. It don't mean all of them at that time, but we outlined what we thought it would look like. It's going to be a protracted struggle, long range. Ain't going to be all that Arab Spring. Don't worry about that. That ain't happening. Okay, but the Muslims thought it was real. Ikhwan al-Muslimin, they went right there to Boss Man. When they came, they said, Boss Man, we ain't got no bad nia. We ain't gonna do nothing. Just let us have a little run. And Boss Man said, why, sure, you go ahead. What the heck? And they believed Boss Man. We didn't believe him. We told them. We said at all those periods, at all those times, boy, look at here. Boss Man, you traveling at 40 miles an hour, Boss Man traveling at 100, right? It's just a figurative speech. So whatever happens, whenever you come on the scene, you're going to be behind. You're going to perpetually stay behind, because the things that Boss Man are doing, he's doing them at 100 miles an hour, and you're traveling, you're going ahead, you're evolving. But you're evolving at 40 miles an hour. And the movement, the whole general system and the oppression is evolving at 100 miles an hour. So you'll always be 60 miles per hour, or per generation, per whatever it is, because of what you're doing, the way you're doing it. The other thing is, this thing is going to cause some unity. This period, now this was 10 years ago, actually almost 11, but this is 10 years ago. This was probably 4/16/11, okay. So April the 16th, we're talking down in Texas. Actually, we're talking where Kennedy gets assassinated down in Dixie, Texas. And so, but we're talking about Libya. So, in talking about Libya, you wouldn't think we're talking about Libya, because we're talking about what is getting ready to happen now, what is already happening now, is unification of the Ummah is taking place. First of all, it's a long-range struggle. Number three, there's going to be a collective mentality developed. Out of that collective mentality is going to be a group of people that will unify themselves with a focused outline on their own future and the part they have to play in it. That has happened today. They was trying to sell us exactly at that time, and even on the same week, they was trying to sell us that this is a new, they was trying to hook it up with the 7 days of 10 days of dawn in Iran. February the 1st to February the 11th. And remember that they had some big event on February the 11th in Egypt. And the people called me from Egypt. Muhammad Al-Asi and what's the name? This heads up the Islamic human rights thing. Yeah, they called me from Tahrir Square. This is really happening. I said, ain't nothing happening over there. They were trying to convince. The thing that made me know for sure it wasn't happening because I already knew who they was. I'm sure they should have known. Maybe they didn't. I think 10 years ago they didn't know for sure. They would send me all on wild goose chases. Man, I went to Switzerland and there's supposed to be a program there. You know, so if they keep you moving, you won't be focused on what you're doing. I just enjoyed my trip to Switzerland. I knew there was something wrong because over there at the airport, they held that plane up for so many hours. The pilot said, "This has never happened before." I could hear it in his voice. The white folks then told him, "You don't take off." And they're showing, this is the authority we have. And so if they stopped us from leaving at that time, that means if we had a flight to catch going to Switzerland, right, if we took off late from here, we would miss it. There were so many Africans on there, they would miss their flights, and they may have to wait a whole day in the airport, wherever they're going to, to go. Then they would miss, if they had another connecting flight, right, they would miss them. But anyway, it doesn't make any difference. The airline take care of it. Okay, so I've been knowing all along. When I get over there to Switzerland, it was absolutely no program at all. None. I said, okay, no problem. Shoot, I had never been to Geneva before. I had never been to Switzerland. It was a nice trip. All paid. They paid for the trip, paid for the flight, paid. So what I care? And I get a chance to go somewhere and go run around and see the Muslims in Switzerland. What, I'd never been there before. I've been to Switzerland vaguely, but I haven't been to Geneva, Switzerland, right? And I get a chance to go around to hear the voices. Oh, they speak here, they speak a little German, they speak French, they speak everything. That's why they call it Switzerland. Anyway, I'm enjoying it. Okay. Whoever of you sees an evil, let him change it with his hand. And if he is not able to do so, then let him change it with his tongue. And if he is not able to do so, then with his heart. And that is the weakest type of faith. This is in Sahih Muslim. So the wrong that we see now all over the world, guess who's coming out to solve the problem? Us. Let's have everybody clap now. I'm telling you, it don't make no difference how crazy it sounds. Okay, what about the last stuff we just finished doing? Right? They could have took me, if they could have came over here before it happened and took me over to St. Elizabeth, they wouldn't have nobody out there protesting. They wouldn't have to let me go until everything we said historically happened. Nobody did that. No big brainy white folks, right? No big university study. No Islamic movement. In fact, you would wonder, why are we so happy and everything? And the Muslims, if you was out there where we was last, we going back out there, the Muslims they sleepwalking. They're sleepwalking. We're going to bring this to them we're going to bring them up to the point of where we are. The movement is not where you are. That's not where the excitement is. The excitement is with us. And guess what? You remember the stuff about Bruce Lee and all that. He got hit with a vibrating hand. And you know, the vibrating hand. That's what we hit the white. And I told, okay, you heard this before? Okay. Maybe at least 3 times? Okay. What did we say we was doing? We hitting the white man with a vibrating hand. Okay. Vibrating hand means you don't even basically feel it. You just something little thing, and you walk out, go down the street, do what you're doing, and in 6 months you just drop dead. Because the vibrating hand